and then stab the other person in the face. Go ahead. Boom, boom. Like so. Very simple. Now, most of the time, their opponent's not going to stand there. Instead, the opponent is going to counter. Their counter is the Zornhound, the stroke of wrath. Interestingly enough, the Zornhound is actually exactly the same as the Overhound, but done as a defensive action. So, we get the Overhound, and the Zornhound counters, and because they went second, stepped off the line, and a few other factors of geometry, they end up in a bigger position of control, and they can't, the person going second doesn't get stabbed in the face, the person going first gets stabbed in the face. All right, so why would you go first? Well, because you're planning on doing a winding. So our foreman comes in with their Overhound, which is countered by the Swordhound, so the foreman winds into ox. And this puts them in a position where they have the strong part of the blade on the weak part of their opponents, and they can stab the other person in the face. Now we reset, and we say, well, what can the second person do about this? And the answer is, we go with the Overhound, countered by the Zornhound, the first winding, and then the second person goes through with their pommel to strike to the face, and then cuts to the arms of the other person as they go through at the same time. And then the final part of this play, the person who goes first gets to win. So they start with an Overhound, which is countered by a Zornhound. Then there's the first winding. The second person goes through with the pommel, and the first person drops their point around it underneath and stabs the second person as they're trying to stab. All right, now we did that fairly slowly, and I'll just let these guys do that one more time, going at a little bit more speed and intent, so that you can see how this play works. All right, now this is an exercise that we do pretty much in every single class that I teach. It's one of, again, the very basic things. There are a number of places where this exercise can change, and we're going to show just one of those. So we're going to do the Sparrow, Shanglehound. All right. Okay. So what happens here is same setup. We have foreman starts with an Overhound, countered by a Zornhound, and goes to the first winding. All right. Go ahead. Now from here, the person who's going second has a point in their face, and instead of responding correctly, they panic a little bit and they just try and shove that point off. As they shove, the other person's going to step in with the Sparrow, which is the fork cut, and cut to the other side of the person's head. If somehow the person who has made the mistake recovers enough to get their sword in the way, just carry on from there, or reset to do it again if you prefer. But if they get their sword in the way, then the person who's done the Sparrow can step through and do a third Sparrow to the other side of the head. If the other person manages to get their sword up a second time and block that, then the person doing the Sparrow should step out and drop what's called a Shido out the top of the first person's head. Essentially what's happened here is that the person going second, when they push that sword aside, they made a mistake. They displaced the incoming attack without making any threat to the other person or really controlling them in any way. And from then on, they might be able to recover a little bit, but they've already lost the fight. It's just a question of